Hello YouTube, it's me TFR Wilderness and welcome to the next review in this series of mini Hello Carbot figures. Now I'm doing this as a small stuff review, and small stuff reviews are reviews of figures that are either too small or too gimmicky to warrant doing a full-blown review, and I try to review them in between 5 to 6 minutes. So with that out of the way, let's get on to the subject of today's review. It's Hello Carbot's mini Sabre. So this is the mini version of Road Sabre or Road Saver, depending on which pronunciation you want to use. He transforms from a bus into a robot, and obviously this is one of the figures that I have the big version for. So a quick look at the box. As you can see, it's a small, again like a Matchbox style box, and you open it up, and inside the figure is in a small bubble wrap package. Again, it's got the instructions printed on the inside of the box, which you can cut open and use as you want, but these figures are quite simple, so they don't really need it. And here we have Sabre in his bus mode. Now obviously I have the full size Sabre. Obviously the proportions are slightly different. This one's a little bit shorter. I mean the length of Sabre's original bus mode is slightly longer, but you can see size difference there. Another size difference I want to do is I've got here the Hello Carbot's Micro Storm, who's a similar kind of figure, and just do a quick size comparison between those two, as you can see. So without further ado, let's get into transformation. Now transformation on this guy is very simple. You basically pull the front quarters of the van to the side to form the arms. You then fold out the legs like so, separate them, then fold out the feet. Now it has a gun that pegs into the front that you can remove, and obviously it will fit in his hand. And there we have Sabre in his robot mode. Now if you just give me a moment, I'll just transform the big Sabre into his large one for a size comparison. Right, so here we are, size comparison with the big Sabre. Now as you can see, a huge size difference obviously, and the main difference is this version has got like panels of the bus which form a backpack, whereas this one doesn't. Now I will have to say, before we get into that, let's do another size comparison. I've obviously transformed Storm into robot mode, and as you can see, size-wise, they're kind of similar. I mean, compared to the other Hello Carbot minifigures that I've got in this little mini review series, this is the biggest of the bunch. He's quite tall, but then again, his vehicle mode is kind of chunky. Of another size comparison I can do for something more Transformer related is here he is next to, Combiner Wars Legends Bombshell. So it's kind of like a solid sort of Legend scale figure. My main gripe with this toy, as with the big one, was the colours. It's got the same colour match as this figure. Now in the CGI model in the show, I'm just going to use this because you can see it better. This red is like a hot pink colour, and this blue is like a lighter shade of blue, and that colour combination that colour contrast just works so well for me. It just gives me a colour boner, and that was part of the reason why I wanted to get this toy. So when I actually got the toy and saw that it had these sort of slightly muted colours on it, I was a bit disappointed. This figure's got the same problem. They've used the same sort of pillar box red and sort of like a sort of mid blue colour on him, but paint apps aside, paint colours aside, paint apps aren't too bad. I mean the chest is decently painted. He's got a reasonable amount of paint on his head, even though they haven't bothered to paint the eyes out. He's got a bit of paint down on his feet and a little bit on the shoulders. Articulation, the shoulders are on this link. They're ball jointed, so you can get a decent amount of movement. You can move them in, around, up and down. So you've got a decent amount of movement on the arms, though they're solid arms, there's no elbows in them. Hasn't got a waist joint obviously, or the head doesn't move. The hips, they go out to the side. They go back so far, they go forward so far, and he's got, you know, like a super deep knee because of the transformation. So he's a, you know, for a Legends or Legion style figure, he's fairly typical articulation, decently posable, reasonable moulding and paint apps on it. It's a decent little figure. But again, like I said, it's just a shame that you know, as with the big one, you know, they use the same colours, the same, you know, shades of blue and red on this that they did, which doesn't quite work as well. I mean, you just got to go and look at the episodes of season 2 where this guy appears, and you'll see what I mean. When you look at the CGI version of the figure, you'll see that the colours are much brighter and more vibrant, and they look a lot cooler. Yeah, so he's okay. He's a decent enough figure. Well worth picking up if you want to collect these mini Hello Carbot figures from these new ones they've produced. So he's not too bad. So with that said, that's my review of this figure. Next I'll be doing the Carbot brothers from season 2, the Sam Changzar guys, and they'll be the last 3 figures in this mini series of Hello Carbot's minifigures. So I've been TFL Wilderness. I'll catch you all next time. Ta-da.